to abandon ship.
Oh no!
Here we go!
Can I persuade you to join us for a drink? It's a tradition.
Here, here.
Jar Jar, homie, my main man, quickly. Before the Separatists attack, get into the escape pod.
Hey! This is escape, then we're the pod.
Welcome back to Star Wars Escape Pod, and a very awesome episode. A bit of a shorter one this week. We've got our friend Darian joining us this week, and we've got some expectations and some speculations happening for Tales of the Underworld, which is the third anthology animated show coming out on Disney Plus this year on May 4th. The whole show is going to drop in one go. We're getting 2 character spotlight story arcs happening in this particular set of show, and we're going to talk about all of that. So let's get into it.
Another happy landing.
Just do as I say. Never can be too cautious with strangers out here. Then again, you're no stranger. Lady Ventress.
We got a problem here. Just saw him right in.
What's the situation?
He was your best friend.
Things have changed. You took everything from me.
Who are you?
I was Count Dooku's lead assassin. I don't want that life anymore.
Bane? No one needs to die.
Get them.
You're gonna pay for what you did.
This revenge, I hope it was worth it.
It will be.
All right, Tales of the Underworld comes out May 4th, 2025, and on Disney Plus, of course. And we got welcome back, Darian.
This is the way.
This is the way. Yeah. This is a cool show. We got 6 episodes coming our way, and they're probably about the same length as that in the Tales of the Empire and Tales of the Jedi anthology animated shows. So in this one we got a wicked new poster, and in this one the description reads: enter the galaxy's dangerous underworld in this 6-episode journey through the experiences of 2 iconic villains. Former assassin and bounty hunter Asajj Ventress is given a new chance at life and must go on the run with an unexpected new ally, while outlaw Cad Bane faces his past when he confronts an old friend, now a marshal on the opposite side of the law. So that's, I mean, the Cad Bane story, like, first off, it blows me away because, you know, like, he's the kind of character that I don't think any of us really expected to see any slim amount of humanity in him at all. And we're getting a story about this somewhat of a best friend, from growing up, from his childhood. So what do you think of that? What do you think of, this is the third anthology animated show coming out. What kind of expectations do you have for this and that storyline, first off?
Well, in terms of the Cad Bane story, they have actually told his story somewhere before, and it looks like they're mostly keeping pretty tight to what has been established for him in Legends. So I'm pretty excited to see that they're expanding on that a little bit. I wouldn't have said before that I really wanted more on Cad Bane. It's the same problem with Boba Fett of, if you keep telling us too much about him, you lose the thing that's most precious about them, which is their anonymity and mystery, right?
Right. Yeah. And a lot of people are probably bound to feel that way. I think one of my favorite bits and pieces of Cad Bane's past is his rivalry / mentorship or tutelage, I guess, with Jango Fett, and how they kind of worked that in, and how when Jango died, like, he became the next big baddie, and then they sort of carried that torch on to between him and Boba. So yeah, it's a cool narrative. So it's interesting to go even further back, to I look at the past of when he was, before he was a criminal, and to see, like, hey, what made him a criminal? Like, what made him want to choose this life? Like, who was he that made him become Cad Bane that we know him to be? This super bitter, pretty much takes on any job for the right price kind of guy. So yeah, it's I think it's going to be interesting. We're looking at animated episodes, maybe about 20-25 minutes long. I think some of the shorter ones have been closer to like 17 minutes, depending on the show that you've been watching. But it's neat to get these. I honestly wish that we had more of this in more seasons. I wish Tales of the Jedi got a second season with different characters and so on and so forth. So it's neat that they're opening a new portfolio for the Underworld. So that's very, very cool to me. What kind of things do you expect from the Ventress storyline? Because, like, that one is, as you say, something you're very, very much looking forward to.
I think it's furthering her into either her neutrality or possibly going towards the good side. I'm hoping they stay neutral with her, because I think she's the first character we've seen that could actually be truly neutral when it comes to the Force. She has been on the good side, she has been on the dark side, and she's always kind of straddled that line. Even when she did some of the darkest stuff in Clone Wars, she'd do other things where it would be this, like, kindness when it wasn't really the direction she was going.
Yeah. Did you ever read the Dark Disciple novel?
Yes, most of it, anyways.
Yeah, I think that exact narrative played a big part in that novel, where she was trying to instruct Quinlan Vos to be able to tap into the dark side but not let it consume him. That was something that came up a number of times in that story, and I just remember thinking, wow, like, what an interesting character. One of the few characters that could be able to be that person, right? Like, to know where the line is and where the I guess where they could fall off the deep end when it came to that. Whereas I guess a lot of the Jedi would be taken blind to many of the deceptions that the dark side has to offer, and so many of them did. A lot of them became Inquisitors, and look at Anakin, right? Like, it's crazy, but yeah, Ventress has become such a great fan character, and there's a reason that they brought her back. The fans love her. It's great, and she did have an off-screen death, and that was unfortunate for anyone who didn't read Dark Disciple the novel, because it is a fantastic novel. But I guess what I'm hoping out of this is if we do learn about that particular event and the resurrection that followed, I hope that it's done in a way that was as accepting as the Darth Maul resurrection, if you know what I'm talking about. Because the last thing that I like in the world of Star Wars is resurrections. I feel like there's far too many of them these days. So like I'm just a little weary, is all I am. And you know, especially when it comes to such a great character, I just don't want to see it be tossed in the way of Palpatine, who is such a great character. And, you know, and then, you know, you look at the way that he came back and, you know, it's just no respect, right? So like, you know, I think my expectation is that, or my hope is that, that piece of the story is at least served some sort of justice.
Yeah. Like, I know a lot of people that haven't read that book, and I find that it's a very particular type of fan that follows the books implicitly. So most people I know don't have a problem with Ventress being back, and even having read that book for me personally, I didn't have a problem with her coming back because they've shown us that the Ichor that the Night Sisters control has a lot of different powers, and even they don't truly understand how it works. So it's not really a big jump for me personally, and I love the character. She's one of the best role models for young women, especially in this newest incarnation. Like, I wouldn't say that mid-Clone Wars she was a good inspiration, but she's a character that has faults, that admits she has faults, and tries to like raise above them or work around them. And I think that's a great character for any young person to glom onto.
On the poster, we get a glimpse at some characters that we've seen before. I think there was two bounty hunters on the cover that Ventress has actually worked with. One of them is the big robot, the killer robot guy. Completely blanking on his name. And then the other one was a purple lady with red hair, and I forget what species she is now, but she also was in the Bounty Hunter episode in, I think it was season 4 of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, where they have the train heist. And she also showed up again later in just in a very brief scene when Maul is attacking the Hutt Council, and the Hutts had, I guess, hired her to be a bounty hunter protector, kind of like Jabba and Boba or whatever. And they ended up running away before they got killed by the Death Watch. But that was her. And yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't remember seeing them in the trailer. So I'm assuming that there is going to be some sort of tie-in with the moments that she, that she's living as a bounty hunter these days. You know, like she has such a unique story arc where she goes from being a Sith apprentice or or an assassin or whatever. You know, she doesn't say apprentice, just probably to not confuse people, but she was basically an apprentice. And then she goes to being a Night Sister for like a hot second, and then a bounty hunter after that. And so she kind of brings that up in the trailer, and I just wonder, like, I kind of wonder what this story is going to do. Like, it didn't really make it clear in the trailer as to what her storyline is really about, other than this vague idea that she's given a new chance at life and she must go on the run with an unexpected new ally. So it's like, okay, I'm assuming that part of it takes place after the Jedi Purge, Jedi Padawan and stuff along for the ride. By the way, people are speculating that this is one of the Jedi Padawans that we've seen as a youngling in a past Clone Wars arc. And, very well could be him. Could be a new character. I'd be cool either way. And, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that story?
I've heard people being very firm that that's Corran Horn. And I
really?
Corran Horn didn't discover his Jedi powers until he was older.
Yeah, I know that Dave Filoni has this thing that he does where he weaves in old Legends characters. I would be honestly a little pressed to say that is Corran Horn, only because it just opens a bit of a can of worms, I think, when it comes to the world that he's connected to, but I don't know. It could be him. I'm just a little doubtful at that, that it is him. I guess here's a question for you. Do you want it to be Karan Horn?
It would be interesting to get more information on him. I love that his lightsaber is built out of like a speeder bike handle and some other random junk he found in a scrapyard, but I don't need it to be him. I think it would be better if she found somebody that happened to have Force powers, rather than yet again more people that survived Order 66. Like you talked about there being too many people getting resurrected. There's way too many people that survived Order 66.
Yeah. I guess the thing is, to me, as they have, I agree. There's a lot of people that survived Order 66. I think the bigger problem that I have is that there's more survivors of Order 66 after the 10-year mark. I'm more or less okay with there being more survivors in that first 10 years. I'm a little more weary of survivors as we get closer to A New Hope, and that Star Wars Rebels time period when they launched that animated show, and now it's actually been woven in pretty well. But at the time when the Inquisitors to us were quite new, it was like, okay, we're 4 years away from A New Hope, or 5 years away from A New Hope. Like, is there really a need for Jedi hunters at this time? And I was just like, why? Like, is there that many still that they're hunting down? Like, I just didn't understand it, and it was one of the gripes I had at the time when that animated show came out. But I've quickly began to understand as time's gone by that that's actually like kind of the tail end of that era. Like, the Inquisitors are not nearly as busy in that time. There's far less of them because a number of them have died as the years have gone on. The Darth Vader comics have shown us that, and the Rise of the Inquisitor book, and many other things have killed off Inquisitors as we've gone by. But I think now it's kind of a neat idea. But as they've made more stories as time's gone by, it's like, the number has grown to like 15 or something like that, 15, 16 Inquisitors, all Jedi, all Jedi hunters. And I just wonder sometimes, like, how many of them are out there? Like, that you need such a big team of people. And that's not including all the Purge troopers out there and the, like the Praetorian Guards, if those are dudes that hunt Jedi too. Like, I'm just kind of wondering, like, when it's gonna end. Like, when and I love stories in this time period, don't get me wrong, but like, I wonder when they're just gonna reel it back in and start telling more stories with the characters that we do know have survived. Like, as soon as I start seeing rumors online of things like Shaq T and Ayla Secura actually lived, and I'm like, okay, that's just kind of stupid, because, like, I don't want to see the whole Jedi Council like come back. I don't want to see Mace Windu come back. Like, it's just, I just want these characters to kind of stay dead. Just kind of respect the story that's been told and move on. And I think that's kind of why, and I think that's where you can kind of relate to me when it comes to how I felt about the Ventress death too, because, like, I know you're of the opinion that, like, too many Jedi have survived. Well, it's like, I'm kind of the same way, but like with them bringing characters back, it's like, it's like, man, like, I love the story that's been told. I just don't want it to be touched in a negative way that puts taint on the existing lore. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's silly, but I don't know. Just like, I don't know. I just have strong opinions about that one.
Oh yeah, no, and I'm gonna fully admit I'm super petty when it comes to this. We only got like 4 or 5 Sith ever, so I'm super precious about keeping all of them alive. Whereas there's thousands of Jedi, so like you can kill them off in mass, and you don't need any ceremony. It's great. I wouldn't be surprised if they try and do something with the Acolyte, because they just came out with another thing saying that it was the most watched thing on Disney Plus by a long shot. I don't really want to see more of the Acolyte. I would love to see more of the actor who played Chimere, possibly that character in something else, where you get to see him as a Jedi and how he falls.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I need any more Acolyte. I know you really, really want Darth Plagueis, but I still feel like that's such an anachronism in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, I think like that's kind of my thoughts. Is just like I feel like it's very unlikely that they'll do a Darth Plagueis show, but that's why I'm kind of throwing it out there as speculation goes. Like hypothetically, if there were a continuation of the Acolyte, where we got to see an express version of a continuation being told, probably through the story of Khmer and the parts that were really good about the Acolyte. I think I'd be down for that. Like I'd be down for like a 6-part continuation if that even worked. Like I don't know how grand the story was going to be, but quite frankly, I'm a big fan of the James Luceno Darth Plagueis novel. Like I'm happy to kind of keep that as canon as it gets. I don't really know if it badly interferes with current Star Wars stories. Like it doesn't seem like it does. If anyone does find a discrepancy somewhere, I'd love to know, because I've read it twice now or 3 times, and I can't seem to find anything with that misaligns drastically with the current canon. So I think it's safe to kind of call it canon for now, even though it isn't. But it's pretty close, especially seeing as they brought the character into the live action fold, and they pulled the whole Palpatine resurrection stunt in the end and everything. Like it's kind of out there. It's kind of becoming a thing. So, but yeah, I mean, if it happens, it happens.
The reason I don't like Plagueis being Palpatine's master is because when Palpatine talks to Anakin in the Opera House, he's talking about it like it's this ancient Sith legend that a good portion of the galaxy would know this legend about this guy. So it sounds like it comes from before the Rule of Two. Only the Jedi stop you from having this knowledge. Anyone else can access it. And then for it to be like, oh, the guy's been dead for 10 years and nobody knows who he is, kind of ruins that whole speech. It's my same problem I had with Andor. I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. Okay, well, you didn't start doing anything until you were like 14.
I think it's just the way that dialogue is perceived, right? Like at least the way I've always interpreted that is that he is telling a lie, right? Like the entire situation between those two characters is all a deception, and so he is using his own story as a way to deceive Anakin, right? Like he's like taking what he knows and making a legend out of it, and presenting it as this forbidden fruit that the Jedi have denied him, this secret, this legendary story, and that in itself is a lie. They haven't prevented any kind of knowledge of Darth Plagueis. They didn't even know that this dude existed 10 years ago, right? Like that's the whole I guess the whole coincidence or the irony of the matter is that he's playing Anakin like a fiddle, and that all contributes to his turn. So I don't mind it. I've actually always interpreted it I think the way it's been written, but I can see that. I can see that also being like, I do wonder if there's anyone else that feels that way, that it's maybe doesn't play off as it's intended. I guess I've never really thought about it.
Well, see, both are equally plausible from the movies. Like it could be a total lie because he does lie throughout that movie, but I like thinking about that scene as it's the truth because it adds more to the problems of the Jedi being so narrow-minded and hiding the history from even their own people. So that's why I like it, because it pushes the corruption of the Jedi further, and it shows that the Sith are willing to use the truth as a weapon against people, and they don't have to resort to lying all the time.
Yeah.
But we're getting off track.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Tales of the Underworld comes out on May 4th, so that's only a couple weeks away. Before that show comes out, there is, of course, the re-release of Revenge of the Sith, which is my favorite Star Wars movie, and I think it's safe to say I'll be there in the theater watching it. But are you gonna go see it?
Absolutely, I will be probably going with you guys if there's room.
Nice, very nice. All right, cool. It's I think it's April 14th or something. Tickets are supposed to go on sale worldwide. I have no idea where the theaters are that are screening this thing. I could be driving like 5 hours to go and see this movie, but who knows? And, when it comes to other things happening this month, Star Wars Celebration is around the corner, and StarWars.com did release a Know Before You Go article, which is very good to read if you are going to Star Wars Celebration and you're listening to us right now. I think we did do an episode at one point in recent history of just tips about Star Wars Celebration that we had based on our experience, but a lot of things have actually changed with Star Wars Celebration since we were at the 2017 convention. So make sure you hit up StarWars.com and read that article. It's called What to Know Before You Go to Star Wars Celebration Japan 2025. And, there's tips about panel presentations, stuff on the floor, what kind of things to expect as far as, some of the merchandise available, this and that. And I don't know. It's just a neat thing to check out. I think it's the Tokyo Disney Resort. Something's going on there with Star Tours. I believe Star Tours is at Tokyo Disneyland. So, not a coincidence at all. But I think a lot of the fans going to Star Wars Celebration will also be hitting up the Disney parks. So, maybe check into that if you haven't thought. We haven't even brought it up, but yeah, there is a Disney parks in Japan. So, I guess makes sense to see what kind of Star Wars celebrations are happening at Disney parks the same weekend that the convention is going on. So just some extra advice for you. Let's see what else. I think we'll talk about the Lego subject next week. But you got any last minute things to bring up before we wrap it up, Darian?
Yeah, I was just looking at the poster here, and I noticed that there's a Duros and a Nemoidian sitting together in two different depictions on the poster, as well as in the top right next to Ventress, there's people coming out of the flames in the Ichor. So I think that tells you that we're going to see some of her resurrection. And since the Duros and the Nemoidians actually come from the same race, that maybe we're going to get to see a bit more of that genealogy and like the difference between the races.
Yeah. Well, that's great to point out. Yeah, good thing. Good thing you caught that. Awesome. Well, I do look forward to this show, and as usual with the other animated shows, we'll probably break these out into arcs. So, we'll do one after show discussion for the collective 3 episodes of the Cad Bane story, and then a second one for the Ventress story. That's what we've done so far with the last 2 anthology shows. So, for those of you sitting at home on May 4th, you got something to watch, got something to keep you occupied. And of course, we'll be dropping those after shows shortly after. Also, just as a reminder, when Celebration does come out, we'll be trying to do those daily recaps that we've done in the past years. Very short recaps, mind you, but daily nonetheless. So it's going to be a busy weekend for all of us here. But, we love talking about Star Wars, so we'll try and make it happen. Yeah. All right. What kind of Star Wars news is your favorite kind of news to hear, Darian? I'm just curious.
I love hearing about the new video games coming out, especially with we ever get to hear about Battlefield 3 and things are going on in the community around us, because it's always great to get out with people like-minded, and you can just get to have fun talking about something you're passionate about.
Oh, nice.
How about yourself?
That's a great answer. I'm always very excited when they announce a new animated show. Having grown up with Clone Wars coming out every week, it's an art style that I look forward to seeing. It's a welcome sight. So, naturally, Underworld gets me excited. It's been a while since I've been genuinely excited for a Star Wars movie. And I feel like as we get closer to the release of The Mandalorian Grogu, it just, I don't know, something about it's just, it gives me hope to see just a solid Star Wars movie, with those people involved that brought us very successfully The Mandalorian. And yeah, I don't know, something rings a bell there. So, but yeah, with Celebration around the corner, I think you and I are both gonna get something out of our favorite Star Wars bits of news. I think we're both gonna hear something we like, and there's always fan related stuff going on around that time. I mean, it is a fan convention in the best way possible. So maybe we'll see the release of some more fan films online on Star Wars Day or something like that. I guess we'll see. But thanks again so much for coming on, Darian. I really appreciate it. And we will see you in the next one.
Thank you for having me. It's through fire and blood.
All right. May the force be with you, listeners out there. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Thumbs up. Give us a follow. See you in the next one.